It is Monday, February 26, 2024, and from the home studio in Middletown, Delaware, I'm Marshal Manlove from Delaware Sports and My Sports Reports, this being a special interview edition of our show. And shortly, we are going to meet and talk to some state champions from Sussex Central High School in Georgetown, Delaware, and the wrestling team. And it's one thing to win a state championship, it's another one altogether to do so with a perfect season. And we're going to talk to the head coach and some of the seniors from the team who helped made that happen this year. But first, if you will indulge me for a moment, this is brought to you by me, Marshal Manlove, stage hypnotist. If you would like a funny, fascinating, and memorable experience for a party or an event that you're having, please consider my stage hypnosis show, details about which you can find at MarshallManlove.com, and also thanks to Jazzercise in Newark, Middletown, and Elkton, Maryland, for helping promote the show by posting up links to the videos that I produce in a very active Facebook group page that they run. And also thanks to Aspire Wellness in Newark on Kirkwood Highway. They have a cold plunge therapy pod, and it's good for athletes to overcome inflammation and injury and stuff like that from working out real hard. Please visit aspirewellnessnow.com. Now, hopefully, when I press this next button, my guests will appear. And yes, everything working well so far. Zero mistakes. And I'm glad that I haven't made any mistakes yet, because I'm talking to a group of guys here who had a perfect season. Yeah. And from right over my shoulder there on this screen is Sussex Central Golden Knight head coach Shane Miller. Coach, just let's test your microphone, say hello to everybody who's watching, and make sure everything's working right here.
Thanks for having us, Marshall. We're glad to be here.
And thanks for making it happen. And let's just quickly introduce the guys, starting right to your right, who have joined us here.
Talan Savage, Chase Murray,
Gabe Cannon.
All right, congratulations, guys. Well done. I know the season's not over yet. Even though you're state champions, it's the dual meet state championship that you won. Perfect season, 15-0 during the regular season. And then what'd you do, Coach? Have like a quarterfinals and semifinals and finals this year? That's how they're running that now?
Yes, sir.
So you were a member of a state championship team there as a wrestler. What year was that, Shane?
In 2008, I was part of the 2008 state championship team.
So what, from your personal experience as a wrestler now, as in the dual meet competition, as opposed to as a competitor, as to a coach, what's been kind of the difference in it?
So the difference is kind of the mindset. Obviously, the dual meet state tournament, you're wrestling for your family, for your teammates, for your brothers. Where in the individual tournament, you're wrestling for the team as well, but it's more of an individual base. Being able to make that change from a wrestler to a coach, it's really neat. It's pretty cool to see, some of the things that I did as a wrestler and try and implement those, and take some of the things that my coaches, implemented in me, and try and send that message to my kids. It's a neat experience.
And how have you seen wrestling change, if at all, over the last 15 years or 16 years, I guess, from when you won as a wrestler there at Sussex Central to now as you've won as a coach?
So it's changed a lot. And it changes, well, the sport of wrestling hasn't changed, but maybe the mindset of the kids. Wrestling's a tough sport. I tell all my kids all the time, there's something a little bit wrong with all of you to voluntarily come into wrestling practice every day and work as hard as you can, because it's hard, and a lot of kids do not want to go through that grueling process day in, day out. But the reward at the end, getting your hand raised, there's nothing else like it. It takes a special kid who has toughness and the ability to understand the overall picture, and have a lot of goal setting and strength and determination.
So I will tell you this, I have a respect for anybody who competes at a high level and wins, but there are two particular sports that I have the athletes I have the most respect. That's wrestling and long distance runners, too, as a matter of fact. And I have seen and watched wrestlers, for decades here. Somebody who worked on my show was a state championship wrestler, and I know you know Jerry Lamy,
Yes.
who's won six championships as a head coach. He worked on this show a long time ago too, so I had a little bit of a insight into the mental toughness that it takes to just get on the mat at all at the varsity level, but then compete and win on top of that. And I will tell you this to all you guys: you are going to succeed in life. I know this for a fact, right? The percentage of people who end up successful in life, who are successful wrestlers and long distance runners, is very, very high. So I have total respect for you. And if I say anything that's a little weird, it's just because I'm trying to have in a little while here, it's just because I'm having fun and trying to have a good time. But trust me, I have the utmost respect for all of you. So let's meet you guys, find out a little bit more about you, what kind of makes you tick, and how your season's gone for you. Talan, tell us a little bit about yourself. How old are you? I know you're all seniors. How old are you? What weight class are you wrestling in?
18, and I was wrestling at the 138-pound weight class. And then for the state championship, I knew if I just went out there and got my bonus points, that my team would do the rest.
And now I know that you're the 5th seed going into the individual state championships. You got a record of 27-6. But what kind of stands out for you this particular season?
I would just say, well, one of my goals were to win conferences, but that didn't go as planned. So I just use that as more motivation to do what I can do and go out there and wrestle my best.
So what was the highlight of the year for you?
I would say definitely winning the dual state championships. Just knowing we worked hard all year for it, and we went out there and did what we could do. That's how we know we could.
So what got you into wrestling, Talan?
I would say my dad, for sure. Him being who he was, 2-time state champ at Central, and then he just pushed me all my whole life, basically.
Do you compete in any other sports?
I played baseball, too.
Okay. So you got to start. Wait, that starts today, right?
Yeah, but I'm going to miss this whole week.
Well, I guess the baseball coach probably knows that you're in shape. So, yeah, no fear as far as that's concerned from you. All right. And Chase, I know you're a senior. What weight class you wrestle in? How old are you?
I'm 18 and I wrestle 126.
You had a good year. Your 4th seed going into the individual states this year, 34-10 record at the time of the seedings, anyway. And what kind of stands out to you? What was the highlight of your season here so far, Chase?
The highlight was definitely winning dual states, but besides that, winning the battle at the beach, I had a big win there, which I'd say that was probably one of my best moments this year so far.
All right, awesome. And now we chatted a little bit before we started streaming here. I know you're not going to kind of wrestle further, but you heading to college, going to do anything like that, try to improve yourself a little bit more?
Yeah, I'll be heading to college. Like I said, I think this might be my last week for wrestling for me, unless things change. But
so what could possibly change that would make this not be your last week in wrestling?
Getting an offer, doing very well this tournament. I know once it's over, I'm going to miss it. So I feel like that's what could drive me to want to wrestle like each year.
Any other sports for you?
I'm on and off with baseball, but it's just wrestling for the most part.
So say on and off, you kind of have to make that decision pretty quickly, I would think, since it starts this week.
Yeah, I'll probably not play baseball this year either, but I played it in the past.
Okay. All right. And Gabe, Slide in a little bit over to your left there, because we're almost out of this. Now we just lost the coach. All right. Well, we'll figure that out because I'll get you back in there. I want you to talk about these guys and say some positive things about them. Gabe, you had a big year here this year. How old are you?
I'm 18 and I wrestle 175 pounds.
Yeah, you're good, man. Not that you other guys aren't good. Okay, I mean, don't. Just because I said Gabe's good doesn't mean you guys aren't good. All right. But you had a big year. You're 39-3. I went to seed the individual state tournament. Second seed though. I thought you might have been the first seed there. Doesn't matter, first or second. You're probably going to end up against each other anyway, regardless. So, what was some of your favorite moments from this past year?
Definitely. Just like they said, winning team states was huge for me, and I felt like winning conferences was big too. I got first team all conference my freshman year, but it wasn't really a tournament style. It was kind of because COVID, it was a little bit messed up. But winning conferences, especially here in front of everybody at Sussex Central, was huge for me. Definitely gonna remember that.
Yeah, that's right, because you guys hosted the Manlove Conference Championships this year and then won it. So that's pretty cool. How did this year compare to the rest of your years there wrestling, Gabe?
Yeah, definitely. This year, I feel like I'm having fun more this year, just wrestling how I wrestle, not really worried about too much other factors and just going out there and do what I can do. Other years, I had to cut a little bit of weight and then wrestled up my sophomore year. So, but this year I'm just comfortable where I'm at.
It's got to kind of have to be hard to have fun while somebody's trying to choke you, though, isn't it? But you win most of your matches, so I guess maybe that's why it's more fun. You do more choking than your competitors, right? Do you have like a signature move or anything like that? And I'm kind of kidding in a way, right? This is real wrestling, not professional wrestling. When professional wrestling, they have signature moves like suplexes and stuff like that and pile drivers. But do you guys have any kind of moves that are named? And I know you do. I'm just trying to figure out, like, what is your particular, like, go-to move if you're able to hit it?
It's called a flying squirrel. It's a crazy move if you think about it, but if you look it up, it's called a flying squirrel. That's my favorite move.
Okay. All right, Chase, how about you?
Mine's a 3 in a row. It's when they have a single leg and they pull it up, and then I just hit a little something and they go right to their back.
And Talan, how about you?
I would say the one move I improved on this year was my tilts. I've gotten to them pretty easily and scored most of my points off of them.
So tilt, that's how you kind of rack up back points, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yeah. See, I do remember something from those days. Yeah, fantastic. Now, when I started watching and following high school wrestling some 30 years or so ago, and when people were cutting weight, there were perhaps some ways that were discouraged, that would be discouraged now. How are you guys working on your weight as far as the nutrition and your daily eating habits are concerned these days?
Right. Definitely during the season, just making sure you're eating the right things, a lot of protein, making sure your body has fuel to be able to come to practice every day and work as hard as you can. Definitely can't eat a lot of sugar, and that stuff just wears you down. And especially during this season, a lot of people are getting sick, so you got to stay healthy with eating. And if you're eating the right things and you're working hard, your weight should take care of itself.
Mm-hmm. How about you guys? Chase, Tal?
I mean, once you get wrestling every day, your weight kind of goes down naturally. And like Gabe said, as long as you're eating the right things, your weight will consistently go down. Besides that, not putting bad things in your body, going hard, and your weight will keep going down.
I would say one thing that I did start doing this year was drinking a lot more water, because it makes it so much more easier to lose that weight, just sweating and then stuff like that.
Okay, but I didn't ask you about college. Are you going somewhere, committed anywhere for next year?
I'm not committed anywhere, but I'm talking to schools for football and talking to schools for wrestling, but I don't know if I want to do that because I'm focusing on pre-med track, which my major will either be biology or human physiology. So it's going to be tough to do that and wrestle at the same time.
True that is. True that is. But if somebody gave you a decent offer, do you consider it, or if you pretty much kind of made your mind that you want to focus on studies?
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely considering it, weighing my options as of right now.
Have there been some offers on the table for you?
Some schools, I wouldn't say as of right now, but
Okay.
yeah, still talking.
State championship this weekend might help that, though, huh?
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that in your future. No disrespect to anybody else who's in that bracket with you, but I see that for you. For sure. Tell me, guys, what your coach or how your coach has helped you succeed. Tell me anything interesting that he might have said to you, something, and maybe tell me something that he might have said to you that might be profound enough where you think you're going to remember that 5-10 years from now. He's like, yeah, I remember when he said that to me. That was like really profound. That really helped me out. Anything like that?
1 second.
Yeah, take your time with that.
Like you or the second coach? Because I know Jake, he said like deep dark places. I don't know, that's something to say.
Yeah.
Sometimes during practice, one of our coaches tells us we have to go to deep dark places in order to get to the goals we want, and that kind of really stuck with me. Pushing through adversity, pushing through hard times to get to where I want. We had to push very hard every day to be able to become dual state champions, go through the dark side, the dark times, and we did it.
Yeah, I would say one thing they really push towards is having that mindset just of being what we want to be and doing what we do or doing what we have to do to get to that point. So
Another thing is just controlling the variables that you can control. Just taking care of what you can control and only worry about you, because at the end of the day, you're competing against yourself, and that's in life and in wrestling.
That is true. And there are times when you think you've given it all, and that's when you all of a sudden have to find more to give, right? Yeah. And those who then find that extra stuff to give are the ones who then become champions a lot of times, right? So, Coach, tell me, come back into the screen there and tell me something interesting, funny, positive about these guys, what they bring to the table, what they mean to you, perhaps, as a coach.
Yeah, so the reason I picked these three, obviously they're seniors this year, but these three young men stepped onto the mat on the varsity level and competed at a high level the day that they stepped into the Sussex Central High School. From freshman year all the way through, they've been varsity wrestlers. It's been a lot of fun to enjoyed coaching them, and they embody what Sussex Central Wrestling is. They are Sussex Central Wrestling. And they represent us in a great way every single day. So I wanted to make sure that everybody got a chance to meet them and kind of get an insight into what they're doing on a daily basis and how well they're representing our program in our school.
Any little anecdotes or anything like that about them individually?
Yeah, for sure. Talan overcame a huge injury. He didn't wrestle his sophomore year, which was a challenge for him. He's going to come up short of 100 wins. That and they all had a 15-win season. That's all 15 match season their freshman year. That's the only amount of matches they could wrestle due to COVID. Gabe and Chase were able to still get to 100 wins. Actually, Gabe's coming up on 100 pins. He just needs one more to get 100 pins, which is a huge milestone in his career.
Yeah.
And like I said, Talan had to overcome an injury his sophomore year that kept him out the whole season. And he, with that injury season and with his freshman season only wrestling 15 matches, he's going to come very close to 100 wins too, which, is still a huge accomplishment, even though he's fallen a little bit short of, one of the goals that he had coming in as a freshman.
All right. Well, fill in any blanks for me. What am I missing here, if anything?
I don't know that you're missing too much. These guys, they lead. They've been leaders in our room all year long. Last year they were leaders in our room, but this year they became vocal leaders. They became mature. They became young men who understood the big picture and understood that they had to bring everybody else along with them. They couldn't just do it by themselves. And that's why they're champions sitting here today.
And guys, that reminds me, it wasn't just you three that helped the Golden Knights win 15 matches in the regular season, and then the 3 to become the dual meet state champions. You have other guys on the team who score a lot of points too. Give out some, shout out some of those names and what you think about them.
Two people that I know that definitely helped out this year were Evan Cordry and Malachi Stratton. Evan stepped it up a lot this year, and so is Malachi, just getting their bonus points and doing what they can do.
Those guys, are all obviously wrestling a while, but some other guys that also contributed, which we really needed them to step up, would be, like I said, Justin Craig and John Robillard, who won a lot more matches this year than he's run last year as a freshman. But this year he's a sophomore. Justin, who did not start last year on varsity the whole year, I think he got a little bit of matches in. He definitely was huge for us to come up and step up and be able to win matches when he needed to be and fill in a good spot.
I mean, I give a shout out to everybody, 106 all the way up to heavyweight, because everybody has a job and everybody's got to do their job, and that's what got it done for us. So I really think it's everybody did their job.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Well, guys, I want to congratulate you on your state championship, your perfect season in the dual meet state competitions this year. And congratulations for winning the Henlopen Conference Championship this past weekend. And then I wish you best of luck in the individual state championships coming up, preliminary rounds on Friday with the state championship final rounds on Saturday. So thanks for making time to come meet with us. I know you have to all get back to like school and stuff now because you're in school, I guess, and some teachers are probably waiting for you. But wave goodbye to our growing fan base here at Delaware Sports and My Sports Reports. Good, wave goodbye. Anyways.
All right.
There we go.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
All
us.
right. And have a great day and best of luck. And I'll be rooting for all 3 of you guys, all 4 of you guys, and your whole team. You're all good guys, and I appreciate the time that you spent with us. All right, the Sussex Central Golden Knight wrestling team, their head coach Shane Miller and wrestlers Talan Savage, Chase Murray, and Gabe Cannon, kind enough to come join us here on the show. Would you like to recommend somebody to have visit the show here and talk to me? I'm lonely here in the home studio in Middletown, Delaware. I'd like to take the opportunity to get to know some of the personalities behind the names in the box scores. And you can reach out to me at mysportsreports@gmail.com. And if you have any other information you would like to have us help share with the local sports community, or we can help you celebrate something, that's the email address you need to know. And now, that's going to be it for this episode of Delaware Sports. I'm Marshal Manlove, and now, call me gone. Yeah, call me gone.